Good morning, folks. I am Brian Carpenter, sports editor of the Meriden Record Journal, flanked by Mr. Shawnee Crossick, Mr. Peter Paguagua. We're here to bring you This Week in High School Sports, presented by Gaylord Specialty Healthcare. And this is our short, strange trip edition of This Week in High School Sports, because with the holiday, Martin Luther King Day on Monday, and then the snow day on Wednesday, we really only had a couple of days of live action. And I just want to let you know right now, Pete, I haven't mentioned this to you, but last night I had this dream, and you were in it. And you and I were trying to get back from New York City. I don't know if we went to see the Yankees or the Islanders, but we were trying to get back to Connecticut. I think we were taking the Merit. I don't know. But talk about short, strange trip. Let's just say Easy Rider times 2. And Dennis Hopper was in the dream. On that weird non sequitur, we're going to skip to what was very, very important this week, and it was Meriden basketball right here in the Silver City. Thursday night, we had the girls' rivalry game, and on Friday, we had the boys' rivalry game. Both games are fantastic. Both of these gentlemen were there, and we are going to take you to both of those games. Pete got some in-depth highlights. Shawnee's got some in-depth highlights as well. We're going to go to the girls' game, gentlemen, Thursday night at Platt.
Yeah, I mean, Maloney, held on to win. It was really close. They won 54-47. You can only start with Melanie Blanco, right?
Oh, do we have to?
I know, right? Another unbelievable performance, 28 points, and she really was the difference in that game. I thought going in, Platt could score in volumes, multiple people. You had in your story 6 different Platt players scored in the first quarter. Maloney needed Melanie to have a great game, and Melanie had a great game.
No, she was impressive. Yeah, Melanie Blanco really came through. Yeah, like you said, 28 points, 12 rebounds, 6 steals. She was doing it all. She was definitely the best player on the court. And this Spartan team played with such great emotion. There was great emotion both rivalry games. We'll get to the boys, but the crowds were tremendous. All Thursday and Friday. And this was Melanie's first win against Platt since her freshman year.
Oh, wow. So
it was emotional. They celebrated like it was their state championship last night, and it kind of felt like it, I'm sure, to them. So this was, John Vieira said after the game, this was their 3rd straight win in the second half of the season. They feel they're 3-0. So they're 6-7, and the Maloney Spartans are looking good. Platt was led by Julia Meisner. Close game. And they had a real balanced attack like they always do. And Meisner had 12. Platt, they're in a 2-game skid now after winning 6 in a row. But still it was a great night for Meriden basketball.
It really was, and it really, they kind of hit a lull there in the fourth quarter where it was kind of like a lot of fouls, not a lot of made free throws, but then at the end it kind of just picked up. It was basket all the way down to the wire. So that was, and then Alexa Papalo hit that huge three to kind of put that one away.
So as huge a game as Polanco had, of course, there's Papalo. Boom, and you talk about being a difference maker, that little bit of a poop.
Yeah,
that was a good game.
That extended it to a 4-point lead.
Yeah.
Papalo, I think it was about 3 minutes to go. She came up clutch.
Yeah.
That was the girls' game on Thursday night. You guys were right back on it on Friday, this time over on the east side at Maloney. Shawan Moncrief bringing in his Panthers to face How Are You at Spartans. Another great game, another electric crowd.
That place was loud. That was loud. From the fans, the fans were all kind of separated, so you didn't really know who was who. Platt had their side, Maloney, but they were all kind of mixed in. Then you had there was a cheerleading battle off that happened in the second quarter, which I had no idea what was going on. There was a lot of cheering. It was directed at the Maloney cheerleaders, and they were stomping, and the crowd was going wild. It was in the middle of the timeout, and I had no idea what was going on.
They don't do that stuff down in Long Island, Pete? Long Island's missing out.
It was wild though. It was great atmosphere. You saw a lot of different coaches were there for both teams. It was a who's who of Meriden sports who was there tonight. So it was a great atmosphere.
Yeah, it really started rotten for Platt. They started out, they were 1 for 16 from the field in that first quarter, and they couldn't buy a bucket. They were down 16-6, then 19-6 early, or was it 19-8 early in the second quarter, and then Shawan really, he turned up the heat with the press.
Yeah.
And Platt went on a 10-0 run there, led by It was Malcolm. What's Malcolm's last name, Brian?
Malcolm Andrews.
Malcolm Andrews, of course, yes. He had 8 of the 10 points in a 10-0 run, got him right back in it at the half, and then Romello went nuts.
The fact that he went as crazy as he did in the second quarter and Platt was still in it was wildly impressive. But he was unbelievable. I mean, it was his 6 3-pointers.
6 3-pointers.
And he couldn't miss. Like, you look at the highlights, he's like, after he hit one, he's like smiling.
Why don't
like
you line
laughing.
him right up for us?
Yeah,
Can you line him
he's
up
like laughing because like he's like, I can't believe I just made another one, and like couldn't blame him. Like it was a fantastic shooting like display that he put on in that second quarter.
Oh my God!
6 3-pointers all before halftime.
All before half. And in the third quarter, they shut him down.
Yeah.
He only had 2 points. He ended the game with a career high 35, and he hit the big free throw at the end to clinch it because Platt had a couple good shots at it in the fourth quarter in the closing minutes because Maloney did miss a couple free throws, although they were money from the line throughout the game.
Yeah. But Platt hung tough. It's a game that they obviously want to win, and they want to get that first win.
Yeah.
And they definitely feel like you could see that they think that they might have let one slip away, but there's nothing to hang their heads on. That was an unbelievable game, and those are the games that you get up for, and they got up for it.
No, hey, 82-78 final. I mean, both coaches had to be pleased with the way their teams played.
Yeah.
So Malcolm Andrews and Desmond Davis, both with 19 points for Platt. Romello with 35 for Maloney. 2 great rivalry games in a row. Can't ask for anything more in the middle of January.
It was a great Thursday and Friday night.
A lot of smiles at Maloney, that's for sure.
Yeah. That's definitely
but
true.
Platt has nothing to hang their heads about.
No, absolutely not.
Yeah. Hey, some other highlights, guys. Well, you guys were over at Maloney. I was here tending the ranch. Yep. And some neat things happened tonight. First of all, Lyman Hall, I want to congratulate Coach Tom Lipka. He got career win number 150 tonight. His girls won down at Ferran. They were up by 5, fourth quarter, and they scored like the last 14 points of the game. So Tom could kind of enjoy each little second ticking away to his 150th victory. Tom's a gentleman, a good man. We like him very much. Congratulations to you, Tom. Also tonight, Jeanette Wadolowski over in Southington scored 32 points. I wrote it on my magic board up there. See? JW 32. Jeanette Wadolowski, 32 points. That gives her 958 for her career,
Wow.
joining Melanie Polanco on that 1,000-point watch. Melanie, we wrote it down here for you as well, Melanie. She's 28 points shy. She had 28 against Platt. That gives her 972 for her career. So we go into next week. In all likelihood, we're going to have 2 girls hit 1,000 points in the same week.
Yeah.
Special. Very special.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Both very big-time players, too. Well deserved.
Absolutely. Okay. We did cover another game tonight. It was over in Cheshire where Guilford came in undefeated playing Cheshire. Now, we had coverage there. Pete, you saw Cheshire earlier in the week when they played Sheehan. And actually, Sean, you did too.
Yeah, we doubled. Sean and I
It's a
spent
short,
most of the week
strange
together.
week.
Sean and I spent a lot of time
Maybe
together.
I had your dream, and it was the 2 of you guys and Dennis Hopper trying to get back from New York.
But
What
yeah,
the-
Cheshire, man. Even Sheehan, too. I mean, Cheshire obviously won, but
They won big, too. I thought that game, guys, was going to be really tight. And
Yeah.
Cheshire blew them away by
they both were
78-44.
hitting all these threes.
Yeah.
How many did Cheshire have? It was something ridiculous.
12.
12.
They had
And
12,
everybody hit them.
Yeah.
Everybody was hitting them. Angelo, Grakowski, DeBello. I mean, everyone, Pettit. They were all hitting threes. I think you turned to me at one point and you're like, they haven't missed.
It was amazing because like you said, Bri, years and years we watched these Sheehan Cheshire games, and they're close. They come down to the last possession, and that's what you expect. And this game, Cheshire
Couldn't miss.
Yeah,
They couldn't miss.
Check out the points there. These are just the top 3 guys, all double figures. Aiden Godfrey, who's been a house of fire lately, he had 16. Will Grakowski with 14. James Pettit with 12. And with Cheshire with that win, that was their 3rd in a row. And that's why I figured tonight, hey, Cheshire maybe catches Guilford and knocks them for the ranks of the undefeated. It didn't happen. Guilford did defeat Cheshire tonight by 10 in Cheshire. So you know what that means? The last remaining undefeated team in the SEC isn't a Hill House or a Hamden. It's the Guilford Indians.
Yeah. And you brought up Aiden Godfrey. He's coming off the bench. He was the biggest guy on the court, and once they put him on, they fed him down low. It was just easy for him.
Yeah, he was one of the guys Coach Lee mentioned after the game. He didn't get much time last year, but he looks seasoned post player. And
He's only a sophomore.
He's only a sophomore.
Ooh.
And shout out to Wallingford resident coach was DeMayo that is the Guilford coach as well.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. You know, our coaches here and there are getting a lot of recognition this week. Lepka with 150. Yeah, DeMayo's the coach of Guilford.
Yeah.
Also, we want to say congratulations to Rich Policiano, Cheshire boys lacrosse coach. He is a national finalist for Coach of the Year in his sport. We'll be talking to you next week, Mr. Policiano. You can expect a call. Congrats to you, though, Rich. Of course, he was our lacrosse coach of the year this past season.
Yeah.
All right. Actually, more than that, he was our coach of the year.
He was.
Short, strange week. And at this point, we're actually going to take a little halftime break here, folks, with a word from our sponsor, Gaylord Specialty Healthcare. Thank you again to Gaylord Specialty Healthcare. Glad to have them aboard as our presenting sponsor for this week in high school sports. Brought to you by the Record Journal Sports Department. Brian Carpenter alongside Sean Crossick, Pete Paguaga. We're going to shift from basketball over to hockey. To your cup of tea, Peter. You caught up with Cheshire earlier this week. There's a team that's hot. They shut out South Windsor 1-0 on Monday. Anthony Vignola in net with the shutout. And then they turn on to crank out 9 goals and really whip up on Milford Co-op. 9-3 on Wednesday.
Yeah, it was a wild first period. It was back and forth. It was 2-2 after the first. And Joe Boyle, our hockey writer, had mentioned before, Cheshire, really struggling to score.
Yes.
Let's see if they could break out. 2-2 first period really did it. And then they just turned on the jack. 5 goals in the second period. 2 more in the third. They were scoring so fast I missed 2 of the goals to get highlights of.
You missed them, Pete.
I know, my bad.
Cheshire was scoring fast.
They were just
Pete
scoring way too fast. Nicky had 2, Evan Vievi had 2, and then Liam Killa.
Liam Clay had 2 goals.
Clay,
He also had
2.
3 assists. So that gives Cheshire 2 wins this week, and they're going for win number 3 this week. Today, it's Saturday morning is when you're tuning in. Cheshire has a game this afternoon at the Ice Pavilion down in Northford against North Branford. And we got some people on the Athlete of the Week watch from this team. I'll tell you that right now.
Absolutely. I mean, they can take what they did on Wednesday and continue it, scoring goals, which they had a little trouble doing. I mean, you can't stop a team that scores 9 goals. That's just plain simple.
No. It's good to see Cheshire break out, too, because they were really struggling.
Yeah.
Look against South Windsor, too. Big Noel's been playing good in that 1-0, though, just that 1 goal. We'll see what Cheshire does to wrap up the week this afternoon. Also, before we leave hockey, I want to mention that Lyman Hall won tonight in overtime against Newtown. That's like 2 overtime wins in a row for Lyman Hall. And the man, Scott Bradley, he's an Athlete of the Week nominee this week.
Scored all 3 goals.
Took the words right out of my mouth. He scored all 3 goals.
And it was the second game in a row. They were down 2-0, came back, scored 3 goals to win. What they say, worst lead in hockey is 2 goals. So
you would know, Pete.
Proving that right.
You would know. As an Islander fan, Pete, you would know. Okay, one last thing we were able to get to this week, and we're glad we did, boys swimming, because it's awfully nice to be inside by a pool rather than outside or inside by a hockey rink.
It smells. It smells weird. It's really hot in there.
That's
It's
that's chlorine.
It's always hot in the pool.
That's nice. Summer can't come fast enough. Pete was able to check on with Ed Heath's Meriden Co-op team this week. Now, you saw them against E.O. Smith. They lost that meet. They did come back on Friday, and they beat Manchester. A couple highlights. Julio Hernandez had a couple of career bests in winning 2 events against E.O. Smith. Jake Donlan had 2 wins today against Manchester. Also, the diver, Jalen Nixon. He's been a previous Athlete of the Week nominee. Probably will be again sometime this winter. Not guaranteeing anything, but just letting you know, he broke his own Meriden Co-op diving record today in winning against Manchester. Okay, gentlemen, a short, strange week, but a good one. I'm going to get rid of this cold sooner than later, and hopefully I haven't given it to you in the time we've been sitting at this table. We got a lot more winter highlights to come, folks. Keep tuning in on Saturday morning. Again, thank you to Gaylord Specialty Healthcare. I am Brian Carpenter, sports editor of the Meriden Record Journal. My man, Shawnee Krofsick, Peter Paguagua, Joe Boyle on hockey, our man Justin Weeks, Ryan Cachada for picking up that Guilford Cheshire game this evening. Thank you for that. Hope to have Kenny Lipschitz back in the flow with us next week as well. Folks, thank you for tuning in. Be good.